Let's have a go at this exam style question. The question says, the mammoth, along with a number of other large animals, went extinct after the last ice age. Figure 1 shows DNA variation in mammoths up to when they became extinct. Suggest, using figure 1, the most likely cause of the mammoth extinction. And straight away I can see the command word in this question is the word suggest. So we need to apply knowledge and understanding about the causes of extinction along with the information in the graph to answer the question. So let's start by having a closer look at the graph and what it shows. And I can see on the x-axis down here we have time. And so we can see all the way from 5 million years ago up to present day. The y-axis on this graph, actually there's two, so we've got variation in mammoth DNA over here and then population size over here. So you've got high at the top and then obviously low at the bottom of those axes. You can also see two lines in the graph here, and they represent, or they show us when the Ice Age period was. So the period between these two lines was the Ice Age. We've also got a key over here which shows us what those lines in the graph are representing. And now when you have a graph that's quite busy like this, I always think it's quite useful to add some annotation. So the light grey is the number of humans, that's this. We've got the middle grey is the number of mammoths, which is here. And then the dark grey is the variation in mammoth DNA. So if I put mammoth DNA, variation, going up the graph, right. Okay, I'm also going to add an E for extinction here because this is the point at which the mammoths become extinct. Now we can see in terms of the number of humans actually stays quite level along here until it suddenly increases some time after the last ice age. And so that suggests actually the humans weren't responsible for the extinction of the mammoths. And we can see the mammoth numbers decline at the same time that the mammoth DNA variation suddenly increases. So if you look, this is the number of mammoths suddenly going down. It's almost at the same time as the DNA variation increases, isn't it? So it's quite possible that these events are linked. Now remember, sudden changes in an organism's environment can cause extinction, especially if the organism is unable to adapt quickly enough. And in the case of the mammoth, the graph supports the idea that the Ice Age, which would have been a very sudden change in climate, might have put the mammoth under stress. And in the few thousand years covering the end of the Ice Age, there was a substantial increase in the DNA changes or the variation in the mammoth DNA. And this suggests the population was under stress due to that climatic change caused by the Ice Age. So let's have a go at putting this into words. So I'm going to start just by referring to this sudden increase in DNA changes. So I'll put the sudden or the increase in variation in mammoth DNA during the Ice Age suggests the population was under stress due to the climatic change. And now I need to mention something about the human population, so I'm going to put the human population, so it remained stable, didn't it, until after the extinction happened. So if we put the human population didn't change over the time period extinction happened, so hunting is unlikely to be, running out of space here, the cause. Okay, so we've got 3 marks there. 1 mark would be allocated for saying the sudden increase in DNA changes during the Ice Age. The 2nd mark would be for mentioning that the population would have been under stress due to the climatic change. And the 3rd mark would be for referring to the fact that the human population didn't change when the mammoths went extinct, so hunting or human cause is unlikely to be a factor in the extinction.